And just like that, we are back again for episode 74 of Who's Fighting. Uh, it's Kam Gee STRAP today. LT is going to be joining us. In the meantime, Kam G's in a remote location somewhere, not in his studio today. But hey, he's making,
Yeah.
he's accommodating this availability right now. Kam Gee, how have you been?
Oh man, it's been good, man. A little time away, and then we just back into it, and about to get another break with the holiday. So it's been good, man.
Yeah. It's one of those times where everyone is busy. Like LT's busy planning his travels to meet family, and same as here, I'm having family over for family of friends over for Thanksgiving, and trying to
Hmm.
move and shake while still make time for our favorite show of the week, which is Who's Fighting. We could not miss this one because this particular show, there was some monumental things that happened in the world of boxing and mixed martial arts. But quickly, let's fast forward. I know we didn't cover the Eubank Jr. versus Corner Ben. You know what happened. Corner Ben won by unanimous decision. It's 1-1 apiece. I don't really have too much commentary on that because that's a little bit of, we deal with the latest and greatest news. But do you have anything to say on that fight, about that fight and how Corner Ben pulled that off?
I mean, oh, congrats to Conor Ben. Handled his business in the ring. He wants to go back down to 147. I see no need for a rematch. Let's close the chapter on that story. It was cool, and we got to experience it, and we appreciate it. But after that, we got to hang it up.
Yeah, we have to. I mean, it's been good. The first fight was good, straight out of a storyline. Second fight was more like, man, what are we doing? Someone looking drained and looking like a shadow of themselves, and then another one, Okay, right now let's see how busy Corner Ben can be. I mean, you're too young to be fighting once a year. Let's see how busy he can be and how active he can be as a boxer. But there's so much in the UK boxing scene that there's a lot of fights to be made, to say the least. I mean, talking about the least, let's talk about another UK boxer who was busy this weekend with the Mexican Monster. We're talking about Yarde Anthony Yarde versus David Benavidez. This was a headlining fight for the Ring 4 that was happening out there in Saudi Arabia. Did you catch this? I know you did, but just add more.
Yeah, I caught. Yeah. I agree. No, I caught it. It was, I think it went as expected. Yard early on, gave some resistance, but David Benavidez is just in a different class, different type of guy, and he was able to finish him off. And we saw a one-handed 13-punch combo. So I guess that was cool. Some people called it illegal. You know,
Yeah.
it happened. It happened, but I think it was what it was expected to be. David Benavidez needed an opponent. The fight with Bivol doesn't seem to be happening. Benavidez seems to be tied up in a trilogy with Bivol. So as he announced after the fight to go up to fight Ramirez, which is a fight I don't think anyone asked for, but I guess it's a fight we're going to get.
Right. He did announce that cruiserweight jump. It was a demolition job. It was pretty bad. It's one of those times I'm reminded that one too many punches landing onto a fighter, they never recover. Like that fight just reminded me of Yarde versus Benavidez. Yarde versus I think he fought the glove kick. Wait, somebody. He fought the Eastern European dude. I forgot his name. Anyways, long story short, Yarde has been getting hit really hard. He's been beat up really hard. He's been into some wars, but what David Benavidez did to him, it looked like I think he needs to hang it up. He needs to hang it up and not be.
I think it was Kovalev.
Kovalev, yeah.
It was Kovalev.
Yeah, Kovalev. How he did that? It was a demolition job. He's been getting beat up really, really bad, and of course, David Venus in typical fashion put it on him, and I had hopes that Yarde was going to be. Yeah, I mean, his strength is his Achilles heel. He's one of those fighters that fights aggressive, but again, like that style is just Benavidez is just well rounded, and he's just a monster. Like they call him the Mexican monster. He's just he he did whatever he wanted to do to Yarde that day, and it was something that I even didn't expect. But hey, he always surprises me. So I don't want to add anything to that comment unless you want to add anything to that on about that particular fight.
I mean, nah, I don't think it was a fight anyone was really super excited about. We just wanted to see David Benavidez in the ring, which we got. But at this point, he's chasing the big fights, the big names, which I have no problem with that of someone like him.
And it makes me appreciate people like David Morale. And I'm like, oh, now I want to watch that fight again. I it just made me appreciate, because prior to leading up to this fight, I saw a different Benavidez compared to the last two fights that he had with Morale, and I forgot the last other guy. And now I have an appreciation for Morale, though I've not been catching a lot. I caught one of his last fights. I just want to see how he's standing, and if Benavidez wants to circle the block after the cruiserweight fight that he wants to have with Ramirez. But moving on to a co-main event, we're talking about David Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. And this is Haney stepping up to let me see this. He stepped up to the welterweight.
To 147.
147. And this was for the no. This was for the welterweight WBO title that Brian Norman Jr. had, right? Prior.
Yes.
This one here it was very polarizing, and I'll let you, Kam Gee, take it on, because you had a very interesting take inside our chat, in our group chat, about this particular fight.
Oh yeah, the Devin Haney, he actually looked a lot more comfortable at 147. His size, he looked great on him. Looked like he moved well. In his, I think it's now his second fight at 47, if I'm correct. But he seemed to be too content with the knockdown early in the fight. We saw a lot of jabbing and clinching to finish the fight, and to us, or to me, it appeared that he was just comfortable with that knockdown, carrying him to a win, and relying on his jab. When, as a fan, I want to see him push himself to be great. And there, there's a fine line, because we'll talk about Abdullah Mason, here like shortly. But and you handle your business. You handle your business.
Yeah,
I would say I don't know if you glitched out or what.
Can you hear me? It looks like your camera is turned off, but I was gonna hop on to what you said. It looked like Haney looked better, and he looked replenished. He looked like 147 is naturally, it's better for him as to what he makes his body go through when he's fighting at 140 or anything lower than that. I was not too excited to see Haney fighting again after what he had with Jose Ramirez the last time, if you remember, the famous fight in New York when Jose Ramirez was following him around the ring, and hey, welcome LT. Yeah, Jose Ramirez was following David Haney all over the ring in New York, and doing the Tom and Jerry thing. But this time, I think him fighting at 147 and fighting Brian Norman Jr. I mean, it showed that he did good things about what he did. He did show a good understanding of his opponent. You could tell. I think he watched a lot of film, studied Norman Jr.'s weak points. Norman Jr. was kind of exposed to my understanding. Like the more I was watching, hold up. But Norman Jr., to my understanding, when I was watching him, I could tell he could not figure how to uh, fight close to David Haney, who was doing a lot of weird grabbing and weird like ducking, which I was never used to him doing that. The whole ducking, like literally squatting, like he was squatting and then lunging to punch, which is weird. I've never seen him fight like that ever. Because he was always like a pocket guy. That's why he always gets caught because he fights in the pocket. But I've never seen him do that, like hugging, like squatting or ducking. I don't know what that stuff.
Yeah, he refused to let Norman get in the rhythm, and anytime that Norman started, he would stop Norman before he started with the clinch.
Right.
Yeah. So he came out with the intent to set the tone early, and he got the knockdown in the second, and he just refused to let Norman get any momentum.
Yeah, and even with that, like I thought Norman did better in the later rounds because he's corner figured. They were giving him the best advice, like, hey, do this, go in, be more aggressive, do that, because I will tell the truth. Like in the group chat, you guys were talking about how he's riding that knockdown, which was a brilliant knockdown. Actually, it was a great knockdown that he caught Norman Jr. with in the second round. But really and truly, I just was disappointed with some of the commentary who were labeling it as a classic clinic or whatever masterpiece that he's putting out. I didn't see that. I didn't see David Haney putting out like this whole masterpiece that the commentators were talking about of how to fight a guy with both a right hand and a left hand, and Norman Jr., who they consider to have bricks in his fist. So I just didn't get that. I didn't see that.
Nah, me neither. I guess that was the benefit of me watching it at a sports bar, because I didn't hear the commentary until the main event. So
yeah, and even it kind of reminded me of, I think, one of the last fights I'd seen Norman Jr. fight. I believe it was Bakachika. What I call him? Bakachika. Remember that? Let me Google him.
What I will say is I was impressed with with Haney's adaptation, and he kept the right hand up this all fight.
Nelson Figueroa Bakachika. That fight that he had with Norman Jr., he knocked down Norman Jr. twice. But Norman Jr. came back because he's like a Deontay Wilder. He has that punch. And it will knock you out. So salute to Haney for erasing that. And it's not only one, he's not one-handed. He's not like a right hand. He has both. He would knock you out with both. But Haney showed me that he had a very effective check hook. I think that's one of the things that led to him knocking down Norman Jr. But those last rounds, it was just a grabbing and yes, it was effective, but yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah.
He's back anyway. To say the least, he's back in contention. He looks healthier. That's the first thing.
He beat the guy. This was at 147.
147, yeah.
The guy at 147. So now we're looking at a landscape of Mario Barrios. We're looking at a landscape of Rolly Romero.
Yep.
So
yeah,
add Devin Haney to the chat.
And David Haney has been undisputed before, which salute to him for having that in his resume. I think he was undisputed at 35. Wait, I can't remember. 140, was he undisputed at 140 or was it at 35? Can't remember. Let me double check here.
Ooh,
I think it was 140.
It was 140 because he unified against Kambosos. Kambosos took T.O.'s belt. Yeah.
140. So I don't know what's next for him at 147. Like you said, Rolly Romero is actually very interesting. That's an interesting fight out because Rolly dog walked Ryan Garcia, who was the last person to have officially beat Devin Haney, but that was expunged or that was deleted out of his record. And that's an interesting one. Mario Barrios needs to kind of clean the funk out of his whatever is going on, because after that Manny Pacquiao fight, I don't know if I want to see him fight Haney.
Oh, Lewis Crocker is the IBF champion.
Lewis Crocker, IBF. It's interesting. 147 at one time was very interesting, but now, it's an interesting division to say.
Well, this is what I'll say. Whenever we started, what year did we start this?
2021.
So this was my prediction, was that the four kings would all meet at this weight class.
And who the four kings are? Are they still the four kings?
Well, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. So we're looking at Teofimo and Shakur at the top of the year.
Right. Oh, Teofimo is he still at 140 or is he at 35?
We're looking at 140. So
he's 140. Because 35, I believe it's a
Shakur, right?
And they're fighting at 47.
Yeah, Teofimo and Shakur, right?
Correct.
Yes, but Shakur is a 35er, right? He's the WBC 30 or 135 champ. But if he's stepping up at 147 or 140,
we just watched Conor Benn fight Chris Eubank twice.
Right. I mean, Conor Benn would be a nice.
Crawford fought Canelo.
And Crawford fought Canelo.
Conor Benn is a natural 140.
Yeah.
I mean, him going up to fight you.
But this is the point. I think the overall point is that these guys are chasing the big fights because the fans are asking for these fights. So once again, the power of the fan, the power of the fan is at play here. They're considering these fights because the fans keep talking about it.
Right.
So Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, the fans that, those interactions they had, it became a fight. These interactions between Shakur, Teofimo, Devin Haney, Shakur, however it may be, these fights seem to be that they will happen at some point. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Which is great for boxing. And talking about these four kings, you could definitely see the division between them and the rest of the other competition. Like whenever Shakur fights any fighter that has been like a ring champion, he's just tossed. They're just cannon fodder for him. They're easy. Same way as, and I don't want to say Norman Jr. was easy, but he was easy for David Haney. And then who else? Teofimo's last fights, Teofimo's been looking really, really good. So Ryan is the only person that I think Ryan is the one who struggled. And I'm hearing my feedback. Is that me? Am I in? Oh, gone. But yeah, like that whole thing of the four kings. I want to see what Ryan Garcia can do so that can come to fruition. But that's
Conor Benn. Is Conor Benn going to come back to 147? He's going to be at 154.
The money talks, for real. I can see Conor Benn doing that. Hey, Conor Benn can definitely do that. He's been talking. He talked smack after seeing that David Haney display. He said this guy is scary. He's scared of his own shadow, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, Conor Benn could show up. And even, again, Conor Benn, let's be honest. Let me be honest here. Conor Benn is even really that good to fight these guys. Conor Benn has only had one fight 3 fights in the last 3 years. Yes, he comes with the hype. Yes, he comes with the legacy. He was banned for PEDs and he was not active for like a couple of years back. Yes, he's the hype from the UK, but realistically, these guys, these four guys that we've talked about, who eventually will meet at 145, 147, those guys are kind of elite, and they've been elite since they were teenagers.
He can't be worse. Is he on poor? He can't be worse than Rolly Romero.
You know what? They're the same person.
Yeah.
They're the same.
But just because I missed the opening topic and I want to tie it in some kind of way, we're talking about these matchups being made across weight classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Benavidez being the most ducked man maybe in history of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about going up to fight Zerto, right? Talking about potentially a Jai Opatai, which that one kind of scares me a little bit, you know. That one kind of scares me a little bit, but Zerto's very doable. And that did y'all touch on that though? He's talking about a Cinco de Mayo against Zerto.
Yes, we talked about him wanting that fight, or him announcing that would be his the only fight that would make sense for him at this point in his career, is going up to cruiserweight and fighting Ramirez.
He said he wanted Bivol. I predicted the Yarde. Better Biev was supposed to be on the card. That didn't manifest because I felt like if Better Biev was on the card, then it could have created a collision course and a stare down at the end. But that didn't manifest. So now we're talking about Cinco de Mayo, right?
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be a scenario where he's gonna go up to cruiserweight, and then Usyk's gonna retire, and then the belt's gonna fall to somebody, and then the legacy of Benavidez is gonna be he went up to heavyweight and stole a belt at heavyweight.
Yeah. Is that Canelo fight? Is that dead and gone for a Benavidez?
Yeah.
Well, now that they're talking about a Crawford rematch.
Yeah, exactly. I think the Benavidez Canelo fight, that ship has sailed, and we will have to deal with a Crawford Canelo rematch. It seems to be inevitable at this point since it's been leaked that they're negotiating.
Yeah, they made a lot of money, so as well.
I think that's yeah.
And then for Devin Haney, what's next? We've talked about him maybe staying at 147. He looked good. He looked healthy. I don't see him going down.
Did we say that his power carried at 47? Did y'all talk about that before I jumped on?
We didn't talk about it, but you could break it down.
I think. He clearly got the knockdown in the second round. So maybe he's not weight drained at this weight. Maybe he does have power. Maybe it's a stylistic issue where he's just not willing to sit in the pocket and trade. So we don't get to see the power. But we see it against Prograis.
Yeah, we did see that.
It's like this, what is Devin Haney? Devin Haney, much like a football coach, it's like a 1 week season, right? We have a game plan for the opponent that's in front of us based on the film that we got. Devin Haney has a different fight plan, seems like every fight now.
Yeah, I agree.
One thing that can be understated is their preparedness, getting to Riyadh early and getting acclimated to the conditions and the timing of the fight. One thing that Bill Haney pointed out in the post-fight interviews, and that goes to speak to their experience and their dedication to being great. However you may see it, how they see it, but preparation went a long way in this fight.
Yeah, I think Haney. The thing is, Haney just surprised everybody by beating Norman. Let's be honest, he surprised everyone by beating Norman, and he's now in the conversations. But to me, interest-wise, my interest to see Haney fight, that ship sailed a while back. After that Ramirez fight that he had, I kind of switched off on who should he fight next. But now that he's put his name in the ballot again, dare I say, you want to see a Shakur Stevenson, Haney?
I always felt like that was the matchup out of the four kings that I want to see, because it's the question of power. These are the two that we consider the most technical, right? out of that group of four, and I think that creates for a better pathway. Well, actually, we said Ryan Garcia, but actually Tank was in that class.
Tank
Out of the four kings.
Yeah,
So
and they have that legendary sparring session with Haney and Tank.
but
Another one.
but it's we can remove Tank from the discussion for the time being. You know,
I could put another person that I could throw at Haney because they both he needs a redemption line is Keyshawn Davis. He needs a line of redemption right now. I don't think he's filled out by most. He recently signed with Jay Prince and him and his brothers. He's looking for a lifeline right now because he was on a pathway to being that guy. And we're going to talk about who took over his trap now that he's out of the contention, or his belt was taken away from him. But he needs a lifeline right now. Haney got a lifeline in this fight, but Haney had already put the groundwork in. Haney was a former undisputed. He had been champion in 2 divisions, 135, 140, now 147. Haney, sometimes we forget Haney's a young man, but he's been around for a long time. I think Haney's younger than all of them dudes.
Yeah.
Is he younger than Shakur? He may be. I can't remember. I know he started really young. So really and truly, a lot of us got tired of seeing Haney because he's been around for a long time. Not because he's necessarily a bad fighter. He has a good resume. I think Keyshawn and Haney would be a good lifeline to Keyshawn, or Haney could beat a very respectable opponent in Keyshawn, because I don't see that Shakur fight happening. I don't see a Kid Austin fight happening for David Haney. I don't really want David Haney to take a Kid Austin fight because really and truly those are problems right there. Those are problems. I mean, Norman Jr., yes, you fix that puzzle, but Kid Austin he's not just a knockout guy. He's very explosive. Probably maybe the most explosive guy. Him, Rolly, corner bench style, like he's just very, very.
The combination is speed and power, which Norman lacked the speed to make it interesting on Saturday.
Yeah, Kid Austin is a very scary opponent. Actually, Kid Austin with Shakur, scary opponent. Kid Austin is one of those people that only knock him because he's young and he has not been in title fight. That's the only knock you could put on Kid Austin. But style-wise, that's a style that you like. Rolly, that's a style that you could, you don't know what's going to happen. You just because they're just athletic. They're very athletic and very explosive. That alone is scary if you're just a textbook boxer who is reading feints and weird stuff. Like you've been in the ring with same style fighters, but these two are just standout athletic. Even corner Ben, I'll put him in that. He's not necessarily. He's a very explosive fighter. But anyways, Haney has so many fighters. I mean, there's so many fights to pick from. I just don't know what his team is going to pick, but I'm happy to see him put his name back in the ballot of people to talk about within that 147, 140, moving on up. Talking about lightweight for the vacant WBO title. This was Keyshawn Davis's belt. We've been talking about this kid. He should be a member. I mean, like a guest to this show. We've been covering his pathway to championship since his second or third fight. We're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, Abdullah Mason. He
had the whole family out there in Dubai.
Yeah, and I have to say this. Maybe I'm biased. He's likable. The way he speaks, post-fight. He has that happy to be here personality, but the guy's 21. I expect that. I know give him a few more years, he's going to be beating on his chest, calling out everybody, But for right now, man, I'm just so happy that he's the youngest current champion at the moment, right? If I'm not mistaken, in all of boxing. At 21, he's the youngest to have a belt, right? Or Moses Iyatomo does not have a belt. I'm only thinking about any other person younger than him.
Sounds about right.
Yep. So he's the youngest ever. I mean, youngest at the moment, youngest active champ. 21 years. He's holding a big belt too. That's the big boy belt. He's holding a WBO belt. I don't know who he's managed by, but he fights a lot of top ranking.
Yeah,
I
he's
see
a top ranked
ranking
fighter.
over. His career has been carved and put together very well. That pathway is good. 20 victories, 20 knockouts, I believe. Let me see. No, he has hella knockouts. I could be wrong. But anyways, let's talk about the fight that he had with the British's on Sam Nooks, who I never seen fight. And I was thoroughly impressed with his style, with his grit, with everything about Nooks. I was like, whoa, that is a tough guy to fight. And he was undefeated too. He was 17-0 prior to fighting Mason. Fellas, were you impressed like I was about Sam Nooks?
Oh, I thought this was going to be an even fight coming into this. Yes, impressed, but surprised, no. You know, as somebody that's followed him, and just for the simple fact that his name keeps showing up on this show and being on fight cards, I knew it wasn't going to be a gimme fight. But yeah, not everything I expected.
Arguably, this was maybe fight of the night, I think.
Yeah, definitely the most entertaining fight, and the styles just made it to where it was nonstop action. I know a lot of takeaways I've been hearing. I heard Chris Algieri talked about the punishment that Abdullah Mason took in those strike. We talked about it in the green room, and I think it was just one of that style of fight that came out of him. He's 21, first 12-round fight. This was like Sam Noakes' 6 or 7 12-round bout. So you fought up in experience and you met the challenge. And we love to see guys come to a championship fight and take the belt. Even though he didn't fight the champion, he took the belt. And I think that was just what I took from it. He's still young, still can improve, and he's 20-0 with 17 knockouts. You can't take that from him. It was an amazing performance by both men. You know, I became more of a fan of Sam Noakes as well. And we like I said, we've seen him. He's been on a few fight cards that we've covered in the UK. So I mean, it was amazing. If they ran it back, I hope they don't. Not right now, anyway. But it'd be a fight to watch.
Yeah, I think I'm impressed. First of all, like not everyone is built for those 12 rounds, like championship 12 rounds. That is the moment, especially when you're young, you get caught up in the moment. Don't pace yourself right. Expose yourself to danger. But he did get caught a few times, but he was poised in the pockets, especially with a customer like Sam Nooks, who was gritty, very just tough. Like his clinches looked tough. Everything looked tough. His jab looked very stiff and tough. He just gave you that blue collar steel hat, that type of energy. Like it was one of those fights where you're going to the hospital after that. Like, the Hagler Hearns type, not to the magnitude of that, but you could tell both fighters were putting it all on the line to get that WBO belt. And it looked painful. I won't lie. Both Abdullah and they were both leaking from cuts they received. There was a headbutt involved. Mm-hmm. There was a time when Nook, I don't know if this guy is like a mutant. He was shaky. His legs were shaky. 1 second, next second he's like back to full recovery, and I'm like, oh, this guy's in shape. Like, because Abdullah hurt him a few times. And it was one of those fights that I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, these guys, if they were fighting like all days, like 15 rounds, somebody's gonna die. Like they were.
Noakes is 28 years old, by the way.
Oh yeah, so
yeah,
and it made me respect the young dude to stick in there with a rough, ragged dude who was just walking him down and and even standing his ground and making it a good. It was a good dance, man. It was one. It was not knowing Billy. No, there were jabs, but it was not knowing. I'm not respecting Billy fighting. Him and Martinez fight was great, but those guys were like stuck in a telephone booth beating each other up. These guys were actually mixing it up with combinations. You know, it was great. It was a beautiful fight of the night for me personally.
Yeah.
Side note, because of this is whose belt they were fighting for. When we seen the news that the Davis brothers signed with Jay Prince, that made me think: Did Keyshawn pull like a Kanye stunt?
Got them boys on board,
or like to get out of his current contract, or was Jay Prince just the only person willing to?
I think Jay Prince was one of the ones where he's gonna take him when other people weren't.
What's Jay Prince promotion? Is this still Rap a Lot? What's his boxing thing? I know he had a whole stable of fighters, but I don't know his imprint. Who is it under?
Actually, I don't know either. Right, I guess that's the point.
I know David. Shakur was under. Well, I think he's still under Jay Prince. Shakur, I believe. Andre Ward was under Jay Prince. Actually, Jay Prince got Andre Ward that Jordan deal too. But anyways, I digress. Jay Prince has his hand in boxing, and I just don't know what his imprint is. Is it under Bob Arum and those guys? They all walk in conglomerates, so you never know. Like, you'll think this person is solely this one, but they all have partnerships. I don't believe it. They have no Golden Boy and partnership. I don't see that happening, but because the history. But yeah, Jay Prince has had a couple of fighters, and seeing that they call it the K3 or the Three Kings. What's the whole marketing scheme around that? The Keyshawn brothers. I mean, the Davis brothers. What the Three Kings?
KD4, KD3, or something like that.
Yeah. Definitely Keyshawn is the alpha of the litter. I don't know. I want to see the other two brothers. I've seen them fight. One of them was the one that got beat up old boy in the back after losing. Is any one of them brothers? Hey, not talk crap, but like I remember they messed the whole money that night, or it was a mess what they did in their hometown in Ohio, and that, my friend, is how they got blackballed. That night destroyed careers. But if Jay Prince wants to do a cleanup job, we've given you the blueprint. David Haney needs food at 47. Hey, Keyshawn, you're the businessman. David Haney's right there. That's your lifeline. I'll watch it because Keyshawn is a dope ass fighter. He's fire. Actually, Keyshawn is literally cream of the top. And I don't know.
You're saying he's done at 140. Is that what you're saying?
Who's it? Unless he's fighting Rolly. Unless he's fighting Rolly, unless Tank is not going to fight. Who else? 140 has kind of got depleted. We have Teofimo who wants something else. Teofimo wants Shakur. That's it.
So it was
LT.
It was the 130 belt that he had to forfeit because Abdullah Mason is at
135.
135.
Oh, he went up to okay.
Like Keyshawn could do 147.
But it sounds like what LT said. All these guys are going to meet at 147 at some point.
Right. That's
a lot of these their body types don't seem to go to 154. Out of all those guys, who do you think can get to 154? Maybe a Haney.
Who has the power to carry at 54?
Yeah, and
Teofimo can do it.
T.O. exactly.
He has like 5'9". He could do it.
So you talking about a couple of those guys? Most of those, maybe Abdullah Mason later on.
I don't even think 10 can do 147, bro. I don't think 10.
So it sounds like these guys, there's going to be collision courses at 47, 40 for the next 5-6 years. It's inevitable. Too many guys, and even though there's 4 belts, it's just not enough. So the fans as long as us as fans are talking about these fights being made, eventually they'll get made.
So with Abdullah Mason now the WBO, we already know 2 fights are never going to happen. He's never going to fight the WBA belt with Tank Davis. Shakur may not want to fight Abdullah Mason at this moment because it wouldn't make sense for Shakur. You have Raymond Moratella.
I think
what would make sense for Abdullah Mason at this time in his career?
I think Moratella is an easier fight to make. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're both top ranked.
Yeah. So that's a more likely, easier path of least resistance to get that fight made.
And top rank is, remind me, is that Bob?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bob, I believe Shakur Shakur is a free agent. He used to be top rank, but Shakur was Dave Prince top rank. But anyways, I'm not the business person behind this, but hey, I don't think Shakur wants to fight no Abdullah Mason at this time in his career, unless you want to like kill a young lion when he's still like do the Canelo Floyd, when Floyd was like, oh, I see problems in the future. Let me stop you right now. Let me get my victory right now before you become a problem, and then I'll just write off and say I got the victory on you, even if you're gonna be a future Hall of Famer. I don't know, but that's the OG move.
A lot of talent, and there are going to be some fantasy matchups coming up. Like it's great for boxing.
All right.
Murataya is ordered to fight Andy Cruz for the IBF, and then that's going to be on Matchroom. Matchroom won the bid, so.
And they're already scheduled to fight, right? January 24th.
Yes.
Is that the date?
Yes. Moving on
I got some lag there.
Moving on to another exciting fight. Actually, not exciting. This was a dog walk. We're talking about Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez. This guy is low-key, him and Inoue. I know that these are 2 different weight divisions, but Bam Bam at 115 looks like a sure deal if you're going to bet who's going to win. I don't see any competition. He just collected 2 of the main belts at 115, right? After this, he has now unified his let me see here. What did he do at 115 after that fight with Martinez? And Martinez was no slouch. Martinez was the current ring champion, I believe. But what Bam Bam did to him, so Bam Bam has a WBO and the WBA and the WBC. Only thing he's missing so he can have the infinity rings is the IBF. He's sweeping up, bruh. And it's not even close what he's doing to his competition. Fernando Martinez was 18 and 0 losses prior to this. He was the ring champion. But when I saw this fight, I saw a one-sided stroking. Pause. This guy was dog walked from round 1 to when his body could not take it in round 10. And we always talk about people like Inoue, these light dudes. If you're 115 pounds, knocking out people at the clip Bam Rodriguez is, it just shows you how different he is. Saw some Manny Pacquiao when he was doing it at that same weight. And we're like, how does he generate that at that 115? And he's Inoue, same thing. I know Inoue is a little bit heavier than Bam by maybe 1 division. Let me see. Inoue maybe.
Bam. I would love to hear. I would love to hear Teddy Atlas talk about Bam, because the angles that he punches from, he's coming through the cellar, he's coming through the kitchen window, he's coming through any way he can get in. He's coming through every nook and cranny.
Yeah, he's flooding the basement. He's coming up top.
Exactly.
He's shutting out the lights.
Right. No, I can't. I'm always.
He's not there. Man, it was like the Matrix.
Jesse Rodriguez. This guy always impresses me. Like the same way we always marvel over Inoue at 122. I'm like, maybe Bam needs to go up. But again, he's 5'4". I don't know.
Let them seal this right here. Let them pick up that last belt.
The IBF.
Let them go get that, and
Boy, yeah. And I think he could also sweep up at. I don't think he could sweep up at 122. Let me not go too. Let me not do too much. He could sweep up at 118.
Okay.
He could sweep up. He could do a quick business trip to Japan and sweep up at 118.
You got to, because remember when we were covering the Kafu fight back in July? This fight was already scheduled. This fight, the fight against Martinez is already on BoxRec.
Mm-hmm.
So a championship fight was pending, and another championship fight was already on the book. So at this point, you're just too good. You got to go fight somebody else. I had to double check that. I was like, let me look at this again. But yeah,
don't they have him ranked at like 6 pound for pound right now? Let me see.
I mean, your eyes tell you if it's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it wouldn't. I mean, he's up there. I mean, the skill was evident. The variety, the explosiveness.
Did this feel like a
player? It was next level.
This felt like I already have my respect within the boxing community, but let me just show the world. I have a stage, and I'm just going to show the world.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you everything I got right here.
And then before it's over, all right, I'm gonna give you what you came to see now.
I don't think these two people should be ahead of Bam on pound for pound. They have Bivol ahead of Bam at 4. They have Benavidez ahead of Bam. I don't think they should be a bit. Bam is just too dominant. They have
body of work, man. It's body of work, Strap.
Pick number 1.
Exactly.
Body of work.
The elders get the nod typically unless they jump many divisions extremely quick, because we don't see Haney on that list, do we?
He just cracked back into like 10.
Of course, 10.
Three division world champion.
Benavidez is 8. Canelo's 7.
Which
Rodriguez is 6.
Haney is the body of work argument. Because the eye test it really wouldn't do it for me, but body of work, you can't argue with the results.
See, right. Bam has more fights than Benavidez, but again, Benavidez has the amateur career. Benavidez has only fought 21 fights, 20 knockouts, 1 loss. Bivol has 24 fights, 12 knockouts. Bam has a better knockout percentage than Bivol, the bigger fighter. 1 loss. So body of work. Yes, how many champions has Bam fought?
Bivol has literally beat Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, he beat Canelo. So that I can see that, but
quite handily at that too.
This guy here, watching him fight, I'm like, bro, I'm seeing the best 115-pound guy ever. Like, this dude is just destroying. And I don't know. He made it look so easy. It looked like it was inevitable the guy was going to win. I'm like, there was no way Martinez was going to. I don't even think, like, when you say, oh, he had a bad second round, it's still early. No, it looked like, I'm here to get this check. I'm gone. Like, this guy's, he just put the beats on this dude early. Dude looked so slow. And you're 115, and you make another 115 that look so slow. Like, if you saw how Bam looked like at the end of the fight, 10 rounds in, when you're little, them little fighters be touching up each other, like they have lightning quick hands. They exchange a lot. But if you have a fighter like Bam who just looks like he's in the Matrix or something, he just looks something different. I never seen that at 115. So I have a lot of great things to say about Jesse Rodriguez. That, hey, I'm happy that I'm getting to see a fighter like this in our generation. I say the same thing for Inoue. I'm happy that I'm my generation. I get to see a fighter like Inoue. So them dudes who just dominate their division, like just dominate. Like you can't say that about heavyweight division. You can't say that about 140. There's always like a group of people, but in this division, it's just one guy dominating. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Hey, shout out to all the talent coming out of Texas right now.
Yeah.
Kid
I
Austin.
seen the two. I seen the two on his trunks.
Yeah, that's the San Antonio area.
I look forward to seeing him and Barrios at the Frostbank Arena.
So,
hopefully we sitting next to each other.
so I read somewhere.
See LT on TV, yo. Watch
Fun
that.
fact.
Hey, it's bound to happen. You can pitch all your ideas.
I read somewhere. Fun fact about Bam Rodriguez. He lost his first 3 amateur fights, I believe.
Yes. Yeah, they mentioned that on the broadcast.
Yeah, that's crazy. Moving on to UFC. I didn't watch this. This was Qatar, UFC Qatar. We have this is where the names come in. Them Dagestani names. Let me take a deep breath here.
Looks like Sarukin,
yeah. I'm gonna say Arman. I'm gonna say Arman Sarukin versus Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker from Australia, of course, with New Zealand. I forget one of the two. They were the main marquee names for the fight that day. This was a UFC fight night, not the quintessential UFC that follows the numbers like UFC 312. This was a Qatar special. They fought in Qatar. That's why it kind of like conflicted with my personal time. So I didn't get to see this, but we'll run through some of the results that happened the day this fight or this headliner happened. So we have Arman versus Dan Hooker. Arman won by submission with an arm triangle choke, 3 minutes, 34 seconds into round 2. That was the main event. Other co-main events, we have Ian Machado Gary versus Bilal Muhammad. Salute to Shot-Town Bilal. Bilal, former champ, defeated my boy from Birmingham in England, Edwards. But hey, Bilal was defeated by Ian Machado Gary by unanimous decisions with the judges scoring 30, 37, 30, 37, 29, 28. Moving on to the light heavyweight fight that happened there that day. We have Volkan versus, and I'm going to say the last name because I'll murder it. Volkan versus Alonzo Manifield. This was it was not a title belt. It was just a lightweight showdown. And we had Volkan knocking out Alonzo in the first round, minute 1, 27 seconds into the fight. And then we have Matabek versus Jack Hermanson. And this was a welterweight fight. Matabek knocked out Jack Hermanson in the first round, minute 2:46. We also have Waldo Cortez Costa versus Shamil Gazil. Gazil. I'm saying that right. For the heavyweight, this was a heavyweight bout with Waldo knocking out Shamil in the first round, minute 1:22. Lastly, we have Yoji Oroguchi versus Tanger. Tanger. This was a flyweight bout, and Kyoji defeated Tanger via submission, rear naked choke, minutes 2, 18 seconds into the third round. And that was our UFC Qatar recap and butchering of the names.
Ooh.
Kam Gee just stepped out. He has some session to go conduct. Salute to you, Kam Gee. Thank you for stopping by. I know you have work to do. Moving on. What are we talking about after that?
I slipped one in there. Can you see it?
Let's see.
There it is.
So the surgeon at a fight announced. Oh, it was announced a while back, but he's fighting this weekend. The surgeon he's not fought in a while, right? And he did fight the last guy that he fought, Liam. I forgot his last name. He fought his last opponent. He fought him twice. The first fight, was a draw or some wacky stuff happened on the ropes. It was cut. It was stopped. Then a second fight, he won by TKO. He's back again versus Benjamin Gavazi. Who's this Gavazi guy he's fighting? Let's do some quick research here.
Well, I'm looking right now. It says that the fight is happening in Whitaker's hometown of Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah.
So this is a light heavyweight bout.
Mm-hmm.
Gavazi, 30-year-old, 19-1, 13 knockouts.
He's German, one loss. Oh well, that's he's ranked right now in German. He's ranked number 3. He's ranked 48 worldwide at the heavyweight division. Sorry,
this is his promotion. It says this is his promotional debut under Eddie Hearn's Matchroom. So
sometimes we forget Ben Whitaker has not fought he's just because of his Olympic pedigree and his social media presence. It makes him look like he's been established and he's out here, just running a legacy and getting fights left and right. This is going to be his 10th fight as a professional. So he's not even cracked double digits as we speak right now. He's cracking the double digits this Saturday with, of course, 6 knockouts in that space and 1 draw. His last fight was Leon Cameron. You know what happened. He came back for blood and got it by TKO after the first fight that was considered a draw or no contest. I can't even remember. It was just some chaotic, anticlimactic end to that fight where, they got entangled in the ring and then people were hurt back and
right.
So
we got some other fights on here. We got Cameron Vaughn versus Gavin Gwynn at lightweight. Molly McCann versus Ebony Cotton, women's super bantamweight. Aaron Bowen versus Tom Cowling, middleweight. Zelfa Barrett versus Liam Dillon, lightweight. Ibrahim Suleiman versus Nico Agbade, super featherweight. And Alfie Middlemiss with a featherweight opponent to be announced. So,
yeah, I'm looking for more news here in boxing. We saw the announcement. I don't know if we've touched base on this, but the Tank replacement for the Jake Paul fight was announced. And I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know whether I want to see this car wreck or am I being pranked? Is the world being pranked? But we have former heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, who stepped in as the replacement for Tank. This is like the extreme of that spectrum. When you look at Tank, Joshua, look at that spectrum. If it's moving from and in the spectrum of not only fighter but weight categorically, you're moving from naturally a 135er to a super heavyweight who is, I think Joshua may walk around at 260. He's 6'6", 260, maybe 18% body, maybe less than that, maybe 10% body. That spectrum is ridiculous. For a naturally I would say Jake Paul 6'1", maybe 208. Maybe 220. I'm pushing it. I don't think it's 220.
Yeah, we're saying that, but he was also getting ready to fight Gervonta Davis. So
at 195, I think was the agreed on weight.
And we expected Tank to come in at 160. So
what's happening here? I saw Taki Al-Hashik's comments about Jake Paul. And I like that Taki Al-Hashik is in his streets of YouTube streaming, where he appeared on somebody's YouTube stream. And he was just chill, holding his little camera phone, talking about how Jake Paul has been a thorn to his side, and he hopes Joshua takes care of it. Did you see that clip going around?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I like it that, you know, a big name, a minister, a country's representative of sports and entertainment can come into shows just like our show here and show love to whoever those brothers were and speak candidly. And they were asking him questions. They were like, hey, Turkey, you know, like it's that was actually dope to see. And I would want to salute those guys in doing that, because that is monumental. You know, Turkey doesn't need to go to the ESPNs of this world. He can stop by the YouTube streets, like what we are doing over here, and just speak freely, and just speak freely about how he feels about. I don't know if you hear that. I want to salute these guys. The name of this show is The Boxing Voice. Salute to these brothers.
Joshua destroy him. The headache of Jack Paul will go from my mind. If Jack Paul win, I will know that Joshua is finished, and Jack Paul deserve to be ranking and deserve to have future in boxing, right?
That was dope. Having Taki Sheik stop by your YouTube show, your stream, and do that. That's dope. That's for the culture. And I have a new respect for Taki Sheik. Bypass the big people. I mean, we have names and names. We have big names and names that I respect. You know, I like Ark. I like all these other guys in the boxing space. You know, I like Bully. I like all the guys in the boxing spaces. But now they're working for the Zone and all these big conglomerates. That Turkey would stop by The Boxing Voice and be candid. Not even have like a big multi-production with big. He was on his mobile phone just shooting it with the guys, talking about. You know, that was dope. That was dope to see. But bringing it back to the actual fight.
Here goes a. Oh, go ahead.
Bringing it back to the actual fight. If Jake Paul survives even those 10 rounds with Anthony Joshua, I'm done. Joshua, I am done.
Do we see a scenario?
This is a career suicide move. It's like it's a stunt move. Either you die or you just made the whole world happy. There's no in-betweens. A draw, a split decision. Jake Paul has taken a very risky move, but still all the outcomes besides him losing by knockout will be his benefit.
There's a lot of unfinished business for Joshua, a lot of fights that were floated that never manifested, and unless he's just done with boxing altogether and ready to retire, he shouldn't lose to Jake Paul.
You know, we've seen him do these size shows. He's done that with not a size show because it's a real boxing fight. He did it with Ngannou, and he took care of that in fashion, actually.
Right.
Jake Paul has lost to a real boxer. I think that was the Fury brother, Tommy Fury. I think that's his only loss, maybe. He is carving out his own little path. He finally got ranked. Jake Paul, ladies and gentlemen, he's a ranked boxer. You can go find him on BoxRec. He's ranked. He's professionally ranked after his last fight. But he's curved his own path with his resources, his MVP. He's done some great stuff in being a big advocate for women's boxing. I'll always respect him for that. He has put out monumental events. He was, I believe, the first one to use Netflix as an avenue for streaming fights. Him and Mike Tyson broke the internet, literally.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of great things. I don't understand this Anthony Joshua fight with him.
Well, we get it. It's he had a camp and he was preparing for Gervonta, and so he had to find a fill-in.
But you know, with that being said, go like for like. You're not preparing for Anthony Joshua because you're not preparing for Davis, and then you think a substitute. Oh, let's get Joshua. There's Pitbull. I don't know if Pitbull. Pitbull is very active, by the way, and that's a dangerous fight to take on. But but Joshua's active too.
Does Pitbull move the needle?
You know, like
Pitbull doesn't move the needle like a Gervonta.
You know, yeah, you're right. I mean, and we're talking about demo. Joshua does come with the whole of the UK. Devontae comes with the whole of Atlanta. I don't know if people would really support Devontae. I mean, sorry. No, I don't think Gervonta. I don't think most people support Gervonta like they used to because of what's been happening with his run-ins. Does he still command that type of attention? I know he's still a great fighter. I don't know. It's debatable because I know Pitbull is still if you go to the West Coast, you're somewhere in Texas, you can fill up a stadium with Pitbull. Maybe. I don't know. I'm assuming he'll bring out the Mexican audience.
True enough.
But I don't know how much of a we assume, because you could also assume, oh, he's from Atlanta or he's from Philly, he'll bring out Philly. Maybe not. He may not be charismatic. He may be of Mexican descent or a Mexican American, but he really doesn't resonate to the Mexican folks, right? We've seen that happen. It's just not like they will just support you because you're from the UK and you command the UK just support their own. No, they're people from the UK that are nice fighters. Like I didn't remember that time. I was never crowd savvy. I don't know how much Kell Brooks commanded in attendance, like in the UK. Was he that name? I just know he was a good fighter, but I don't see him in the light of Eubank Jr. or Anthony Joshua, or even who else do I consider as a crowd pull over there in the UK? Yeah, maybe those two.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right about that, but he probably holds more weight there, comparatively speaking, than here, for the simple fact that they love the sport so much.
Yeah, I like to see that. If things start to develop and it really happens, and I know the ink is dried, I'm seeing them doing face-offs. We will see how good of a fight that will look like, how that will translate in its actuals, and when they actually fight, how each of them adjust to each other, the short guy, the tall guy, and all that stuff. Moving on to other news in boxing.
Yeah, man, there's some fights here that have actual implications. So we're gonna run with these ones real quick. So we'll stay on Saturday. There's a whole lineup here. This card actually looks to have actual implications. Frazier Clark, this is vacant British heavyweight title, and I'm just gonna read these off. That's for 12 rounds. Also on this card, wait a minute. Before I lose my power here.
Yeah.
Okay. Francesca Hennessy versus Fabiana Batiki, 10-round women's bantamweight. Bobby Dalton versus Joel Kojua, 10-round welterweight. Moral Silva versus Bradley Goldsmith, 8 rounds middleweight. Jack Massey versus Ivan Gabriel Garcia. Doesn't have rounds on that one, but those are cruiserweights. This is all taking place in Derby, England. This is actually, I mean, like I said, like we don't pay these are fights that we don't actually pay attention to stateside that will have implications.
Yes. I've seen Frazier Clark twice, fight twice. I mean, with Woodley, that is Fabian Woodley. That was a great dance. Real great dance partners to each other. The first fight was a split decision draw. Then the second fight, Woodley TKO'd him in the first round. He's still a dangerous opponent. I don't know who Jamie Tushikawa. No. I think that's maybe some more. Let me make sure. That I would love to see that fight. Make sure I at least know where his opponent is from. Jamie.
Yeah. I mean, it's for the vacant British heavyweight title, so maybe it's.
Yep.
But so I mean, there's that.
Yep, he's British from the United Kingdom and Tottenham. Tottenham, London is where he resides. He's a young fighter. Well, am I seeing the right number? But I don't have his age here. But he's 6'4". It's a big guy. 32 years of age. Undefeated. He did defeat David Adeleye.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. He lost to David Adeleye.
Okay.
So he's not undefeated. He lost to David Adeleye and he lost to Igor Masado.
Yeah, but so these are fights that have implications. Yeah. So might see them again. More fights happening that day. Not familiar with a lot of these names, but just want to show them some love. This is a Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As you look at that lineup, this is all happening in. You said. All
right, so this one is taking place in Temecula, California. This one right here.
I don't know where that is, but
now I want to circle back to Friday, and this was we touched on this topic right here a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a name. Here's a name for you. So that is taking place on the 28th. Where we at?
Yes.
And it's not even Aegis Kavalauskas. He's currently ranked fifth. He's currently ranked fifth by the WBC in the welterweight rankings.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What's this? What's the that's what the EBU
European
Boxing Union.
There you go. So currently, Samuel typo there. Samuel currently holds the belt.
Yeah,
but
talking about European. Let's bring it back to stuff that happened recently. Last week in the news, former world champion Joseph Parker being caught up with a dirty urine sample with not performance enhancing, but party enhancing substance. And it was prior to his fight with Fabio Woodley when this sample was drawn. His team have refused and disagreed with this finding, and they have offered to have the B sample checked because they think there may have been contamination or something, but it's realistically not possible to be on that fish scale before a boxing fight. This is just for fun. What I'm bringing up here. Can you be high performing in any career? Wait. Let me pull out any career that I've seen that people do They've done fish scale and DJ before, but can you do fish scale? I'm saying being on cocaine and be boxing for a heavyweight, maybe title
Well, listen,
challenging decider.
we've seen Michael Phelps do it. Michael, hey, that's some of the most impressive.
Bro, after you've gone through all that starvation, eating right, doing all sorts of stuff,
Yo,
preparation.
look, hold on. Radio Raheem, listen, wait. Radio Raheem out of pocket. Wait. Radio Raheem said we going all the way back to the top of this. You've brought it full circle, Strap. You just don't understand.
Right.
We're going back to the top of the episode. Radio Raheem said that we need to find David Benavidez an opponent before he gets bored and gets back on the booger shoot. You out of pocket, Radio. You out of pocket for that.
Man. And you know, this is not new in this sport. I mean, people party, and that's a party substance. It's been in Tyson's books of how him and Bobby Brown used to have their parties. They were buddies. It's been, I mean, there are videos of Kilbrook. Yeah, and this is anyway before we get sued, but that's allegedly, you know, but that's party. But we're talking about a guy preparing for a fight, and his urine sample is popped. It's like, yo, brother, you are partying. Like, that's something I've never thought about. Like, this is crazy. I mean, think that because when I think about boxers preparing for fights, not post-fight, I always think about clean life and no drinking, no whatever, and all that stuff. So that's all.
But I mean, like, somebody could have, he could have been touched and he could have got into his pores, or, maybe it was mist in the air. You just, I don't know. How much does it take to show up in your system? Like, how much do you have to ingest? Like, this is, we're talking science here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually how much they find. Is it enough?
But there's other things surrounding the story.
Oh yeah. That thing's scary to talk about. I want to talk about the party. I don't want to talk about the whole the whole thing that could lead to a recall. That one I stay away from. I'll let the ladies I'm just talking about the testing and okay, why this is so funny in many, okay, not funny because it's somebody's career. If it was accidental, it's not funny. But the character of the person, like, we know Joe Parker for years and years. He was that sweetheart, young heavyweight champion, smile on the face, proper, the guy who does it right. He does not. He's proper.
Then you need to ask other questions. What good was he doing?
I know he was always preaching Jesus in his videos. He was just a clean guy.
So there was a guy in the NFL that led his NFL team's Bible study, and then they come to find out and they make him about to be this kingpin. So, but yeah, I'm saying, like, what?
I've seen that before in rap. Remember with Lupe Fiasco one time, the whole Chicago stuff where they were like,
I'm saying though, when people are making an effective change and doing good, these type of things come along and derail them.
And that's
I don't know. Is it a conspiracy? I don't know. I'm just asking the questions.
I know it's hilarious because I don't want to sound, I'm not profiling, but if it was Chisora, I would be like, I get it. I'm not saying Chisora's on that, or is it any person that you know that their personality is kind of, rugged, rough, street light, kind of like, and I'm not trying to profile. I'm not saying I'm It's just I didn't play that game. I didn't. The only thing is I didn't align this activity with that person. Like, that's one of those things, and I'm like, wow, that's why you don't. I mean, that's how life is. Sometimes the person who's stealing everything is wearing a suit and tie, and you're just gonna ignore that person because you think and those are the biggest thieves in crime.
I mean, at the same time, like
White collar crimes.
I mean, look, Mike Vick was playing an entire NFL season, so he had people back at home. You get what I'm saying? Like, people can pull you into stuff unbeknownst to you.
Facts. But anyways, just for the, we were talking about this just for the content aspect of it. But in all seriousness, I hope this situation is resolved. I hope the truth is it was a miscommunication, or it was the wrong sample, or something happened. We don't want this. But first of all, the sport of boxing, we don't. And if it's innocent, I would want Joe Parker to be innocent and then clean his
exonerated.
Yeah, clean his name, because that's something you don't want on your jacket, even if it's not going to affect you in the ring, but it's something you just don't want on your jacket. Like I hope it's not true. But even the stuff that is developing on Twitter, where other things are being added onto this, that's scary, because that's not just state to state. That's continent. It's scary stuff. Like, this is like that's crazy. When things are moving borders, that's crazy. And I hope that stuff is just internet jabber and people just talking. And I hope it has no validity, because that could be that could be bad.
Right.
Moving on.
And now, also bringing it full circle, Joseph Parker is no longer the most deserving man in boxing. It's David Benavidez, the most deserving man in boxing right now.
Yes, and David Benavidez, and when we say deserving, this guy has been having people running. He's made people running many divisions. He's made people track stars. He's been looking for somebody to dance with him of worthy nature. That's why, right? Like, before you joined in, I told Kam Gee, that's why I respect David Morrell for his showcase with Benavidez. I wouldn't be mad if he fights dude again,
right? Because
he was worthy. Because he didn't do no running from Benavidez. He gave it to Benavidez. He danced with Benavidez. He got Benavidez respect. And it was one of those where judges had to make their decision. And that was never the case for his other fights, where he clearly was talked about, oh, he's too big at this weight division. He's just weight bullying. Or he's too this and this and this. Or he's got up to his actual size. Now he can't knock people out. I was one of the people saying that, by the way.
Hey,
he proves people wrong.
What's up, man? Hey, Berlanga, what's up? You going to 175? Come on. I'll watch it. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to make money fights at this point.
I think Berlanga can't afford it. I'll give him Aziz.
Yeah.
Give him Aziz, because Aziz, if I'm saying his name right, Aziz, the guy, the UK boy.
Right, though. He's not. Yeah. Berlanga's definitely.
Berlanga's can't afford it.
He never. But hey.
He's just he is what you feed to cows. He's livestock food. He is not worthy for Benavidez.
Yeah, you're right. Berlanga, go fight Morrell.
Morrell, that's another thing. Morrell, I saw his last fight. He beat dude fair and square. But did that showcase with Benavidez kind of scare people from fighting Morrell now? Or I don't know. I want to now study his activity, because what I've seen Benavidez do.
Spin the block.
Yeah, but I definitely want to see Aziz fight again, because
Morrell?
Aziz from the UK, the dude that beat Benavidez, so that beat Berlanga, the British Arabic dude who knocked out Berlanga. I want to see who he's fighting next, because right now he's talking off his, you know what, by calling out Canelo. He wants Canelo. I'm like, no. Canelo is not fighting you, bro. You're being pushed on by Riyadh Season. I know you're one of their golden geese in that franchise. Go get you a Benavidez. You're 6'5", he's 6'4". I don't know how tall Benavidez is. I know he's a tall dude. Yeah, you will be perfect for each other. I know Morrell was like 6'3". Them tall dudes. Yeah. You stop fighting 5'8" people. Go fight, dude. And let's see what's up. If you're really what Riyadh Season thinks you are, Go meet the Mexican monster. Go fight David Benavidez. And if you could, I'll be honest, he's not going to win. But if you could showcase something there, go 12 rounds with him. Make it very convincing where some judges are like, then we could see if you could fight Canelo. If not, I don't see Aziz getting that fight because right now it's always upward onwards. What else am I thinking that?
Sheesh. Hey, we already look. Benavidez basically said it like he wants the guys at the top. You know, Yarde was like that number one contender, and you know he fought that fight because it was the commonality of opponents, right? The only other person there was Kovalev. Kovalev just retired, you know, and I don't think Benavidez is interested in that just for the sake of it. So yeah, now he's not. Of course, he has to focus his attention elsewhere. People actually had whole belts that are actually willing to take on the challenge. You know,
the whole time I call him Aziz. It's not Aziz. Sorry, is Shiraz. Hamza Shiraz.
Yeah,
I was calling him Aziz. I don't know. I was like, sorry, but yeah, Hamza Shiraz is who I'm thinking about.
He's looking clean. He was looking clean ringside.
That's who he needs to fight. That's who Benavidez needs to fight next. I know Benavidez wants that Bivol. Bivol is going to take a while. He's going through some stuff in life where he has to recover first. I know Ramirez is there. Yeah, that's a great fight. But yeah, Shiraz. I was calling him Aziz the whole time. But yeah, Shiraz is who I was talking about the whole time. Hamza Shiraz, Muhammad Hamza Shiraz. But besides that, like, there's just very little to fight. Like, I'm looking for, like, Benavidez, like, you still be the boogeyman for a long time, unless
there's hey, look, Badu Jack there.
Man, I don't want to see that. If it's not
Badu Jack there. There's still Callum Smith that they tried to make happen. So there's still that fight.
Would you ever entertain? And this is a stretch, and I don't think both fighters would not want to go. Okay, do you think Terrence Crawford could go up to lightweight, like 175, or is that too much for him?
It's the reason he want to go back down to 160. His styles, right? He can fight. Terrence Crawford can beat Badu Jack.
Okay. He can. I think he can knock him out. Oh, wait. Badu Jack is 180. Let me just make sure. I just wonder how much Terrence Crawford can fight at. Badu Jack, these guys are 200 pounders. Never mind, cruiserweight.
Yeah, that doesn't mean Terrence Crawford has to put on 200 pounds.
I mean, I'm saying like 175, like light heavy.
Yeah. I mean, it's a stylistic thing, right? It's going to be a stylistic thing. What the opponent presents.
Or would you see in a world? This is just me just throwing stuff on the wall to see what sticks. Terrence Crawford versus Benavidez. In a world, do you ever see that happening, or it's just doesn't even make sense?
168.
68.
I don't know.
I don't think.
If I'm Crawford, it has to be a 68.
You don't want him to have that weight advantage. Let's see.
It has to be 68.
So he fought at 75 with Yarde, right?
Correct.
Crawford fought at 68 with Canelo.
171 catch. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's give and take. It's 7 pounds. Wait, it's 7 pounds. Yeah, 7 pounds. Yeah, 70, 72, 172. But that's
Why?
kind
Why? Because it's an even number.
I think so because I'm thinking like Terrence Crawford. How much do you walk around by? Because I guarantee you, Benavidez, looking at his body type, that dude probably walk around at like 220.
And Terrence Crawford wouldn't even want to do that.
If Terrence Crawford walks around at like 180,
if Terrence Crawford wanted to do it, he would do it at 75.
75. If you walk around at 180, maybe your fighting weight has to be less than that because you got to get in shape.
Only after unification. Only after somebody.
I don't think both of them could fight each other. They're just so different, like, physique wise. Like, it wouldn't make sense. Yeah. And I would hit Benavidez with hella rehydration clauses. I'll hit him with. If I'm fighting a monster like that, bro, you think I'm gonna deplete you like Corner Ben depleted Eubank? If you want to fight me, and I'm Terrence Crawford, and I'm taking that risk. Terrence Crawford took that risk with Canelo, right? Everybody was like, "Oh, Canelo's the bigger fighter." I saw them standing together. I'm like, "Nah, these guys are the same." But Benavidez, for real, that's you're taking a risk. Like, you're fighting a guy. I bet you Benavidez walks around at 220, and he gets into shape like at 290, and then he cuts down to like 175 or 168 or wherever. But he looks so depleted whenever he's weighing in. You can see his cheekbones. You know what I mean? Well, I never see that. I can't see that for Terrence has to hit. That's why I would do that. If I'm gonna hit you with hella rehydration clauses, I wanna make sure that if you're making that weight, something has to go. Something. And when you're trying to like rehydrate that day of that purse, you gotta do that, man. That what Corner Ben did to Eubank was fire. That's the first time. That's why they had to did make weight. That's what you got to do. And I don't blame people are blaming Corner Ben. Oh, I'm like, no, I'll do the same thing. I'll hit you with the same. If I'm a little guy, if I'm smaller than you, and you're already this big, powerful, I'm gonna hit you so it's even and let's fight. But anyways, that's interesting. If I'm just looking at a world where, like, you were bringing it full circle to the first person.
Man.
Benavidez, while where Benavidez meets with another person, and we've already talked about Morel too.
Mm-hmm.
I called dude Aziz, but Hamza Shiraz. You talked about what's gonna happen, but you talked about Badu Jack. I don't think it's gonna happen. Badu Jack, who's just warming up that WBC belt. I think it's WBC that he has for cruiserweight. Opetaya may be biting more than he could chew. If he fought that fighter, that's a dangerous dude. Well, I think Opetaya could do the Okoli and look comfortable in the heavyweight.
Correct.
I think you could do the Lawrence Okoli and move easy. Just style of he's built and his style could translate good. I don't think to be drastic like Okoli changed his whole boxing style. Not like that, not be drastic and fight like a real heavyweight, but he can still have his cruiserweight tendencies and translate good. Anyways, I think we've milked this cow here to its last drop.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any things that you'd want to share with the peoples before we close shop?
Man, just relieved to be going into this holiday season.
Oh yeah.
Just coming down the stretch, finally concluded football, so now I got time to exhale, and then the work begins again. But you know, when you're in it, it's grind. And you don't have time to just sit back and say,
yeah.
But you know, just celebrating a huge milestone, launched a football program from scratch. You know, that was monumental, bucket list item. man, we celebrating. You know, we got our first All-State selection, so we got a kid who's gonna go play in the All-Star game. Just you know, pat myself on the back, proud of being able to present opportunities where they once did not exist. So, toot my own horn, right? But nah, man, it's the grind. Now we can just kind of pause, stop, assess.
So it's good to have that time to recover. Like you said, sometimes to realign your goals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good little break, and not only just to stop and assess, but also stop and check on your people.
Facts.
Friends, that type of thing. Because sometimes when you're stuck in the grind, it's like you're on a hamster wheel.
Yeah.
It's get up, go, get up.
I'll be shooting up 35 tomorrow. So
yeah.
Hey,
it's been one of those times here. It's been raining. It was raining all day today. So if you're leaving tomorrow, just make sure everything in your car is all set and good to go to hit that road.
Right. That's why it was late getting here because I had to change those brakes. So
But LT, but before we do anything, I forgot I had this in here. Based on our predictions, as of right now, these are 19 fights in. We are 100. I mean, the leader is Kam with 100 points. I'm second with 90 points, and you're third with 80. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you how this works. Last time we had talked about our predictions was when we were 16 fights into it. So the 17th fight, of course, that was the Eubank fight. You're the only person that received points that day because you predicted Corner Ben to win, but you predicted Corner Ben to win by knockout.
Knockout, correct.
In the 6th round. While Kam Gee and I predicted both Chris Eubank Jr. winning, I decided to have it go knockout 6th round to juxta what you said because I was going to use Corner Ben, but I remembered Bomac was the trainer, and Bomac is a grit grind. We are going to, find a way to that type of thing. Kam Gee went with Eubank Jr. winning by decision, and it was a split. So you took on match 17 or fight prediction 17. You took 5 points. That took you up to, I think you had 65 the last time. It took you up to 70. Next fights that we predicted were the last 2 fights. That was Benavidez versus Yarde, and the second fight, which is Haney versus Norman Jr. Your prediction, all of us predicted Benavidez, so we all took 5 points for the win. You predicted very close. You predicted 8th round knockout.
Yeah.
It's actually a 7th round knockout, so you get another 5 points for predicting the style of win. And you took 10 points that day. So that moved you from 70 points to 80. Kam Gee predicted Benavidez. He was very close. He predicted a 6th round knockout. And of course, it was a 7th round knockout that Yarde was put down. And Kam Gee also took 10. So I think it got him from 90 that time when we last showcased because he didn't get any points for the Eubank. So he took him from 90 to 100. While on my end, I predicted Benavidez, but I did predict by unanimous decision. So I only took, I believe I took 5 points. So that got me from, I believe, 75 to 80. Where I actually scored big was the Haney.
Mm-hmm.
Both you and Kam Gee predicted Norman Jr. winning. One of you predicted him winning by unanimous decision, and then the other predicted him winning by TKO.
Yeah, knockout. I picked knockout.
So both of you didn't get any points based on that. I predicted Haney winning by decision, and mine was a split. So I didn't get the full 15. I got 10 points. So that got me to 90. So yeah, so I moved up from 80 to 90, and that's how we got up. That's how we all have our points that we have. We have 100, 90, and 80. But yeah, it was a hit and miss. I mean, you had your moment with the Eubank corner Ben. I had my moment with Haney. Kam Gee is one of those guys. He's been predicting, like, I mean, the Benavidez and the style kind of kept him in there. So yeah, we're still. I was telling LT earlier that, I mean, I was telling Kam Gee earlier that you're clawing your way back into it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we just need some more fight weeks into it, and if you can score another 15, and we
in the running, man.
Yeah, no, we talked about, we didn't talk about what is it for the end of the points, but we could donate something to a charity somewhere. We could do something. What the forfeit is, if it's a donation to a charity of your choice, your school, whatever. If you want, the loser and the winner, it's bragging rights to say, hey, for the year 2025, my predictions have been spot on. But I just wanted to run.
Hold on, Strap?
Yeah.
Did we create fantasy boxing?
I mean, this is fun. It's just one of those things. Yeah, fantasy. There you go.
Did we create fantasy boxing, or did that already exist?
I don't know. I just thought about it when we started this whole thing. It's good because we always predict, like, well, how about let's put some points onto it and put something at the end of the, put a pot of gold at the end of it.
Oh man.
But I think it's cool. I think it's cool, like, where it's just not going to test your boxing knowledge because it's boxing. So anybody's one punch away from losing and winning, but it's just something that is fun to do. And it's bragging rights for 2025. Who's the person that was spot on? And then we could document it, and
facts.
I want to, even if I lose, I want to put something for donation. I'll donate something to the winner's charity, whoever the winner is. If it's Cam, if it's you, and you have a charity, if it's a school, if it's anything, ask them for if they have any charity things that we could just put in, and also want a tax write-off too on that. So, but but yeah, definitely that will be something of a worthy cause, and it's fun to do it. So,
absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know this has been probably one of our longest episodes in a while. A bit of catching up. I know in the beginning, Cam was in and out because he was in between gigs, so we did the best that we can. Apologies for maybe the audio or tech issues that we're having, but yeah, we pushed on. Show got greater audio-wise as we kept on going. Cam found a stable location. But yeah, with that being said, it's been another great episode 74 of your show that you like to watch. Your show that recaps everything and talks about anything in the world of boxing and mixed martial arts as a collective. This has been another great episode of Who's Fighting. LT, my guy.
Hey, who's fighting?